Ancient scrolls that were buried in volcanic ash during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius are now being deciphered 2,000 years later.
An incredible archaeological site, a capsule to the ancient world, or a wonder that stood still for 2,000 years? Pompeii isn't just a land filled with ruins, but a historic miracle. So tag along to explore the most shocking discoveries made in this extraordinary place that has left everyone in awe. Pompeii's hidden past. Imagine finding a whole city frozen in time, perfectly preserved by volcanic ash. I know it sounds crazy, but it actually happened back in 79 AD near Naples, when the whole ancient Roman city of Pompeii was buried under Mount Vesuvius's ash, believe it or not. But when it happened, hot rocks and ash shot 15 kilometers into the sky. That's way higher than birds flying. The debris rained down on Pompeii, covering everything, layering the houses and streets. As it kept going, it buried the whole city under 25 meters of ash and rubble. And fast forward 1,500 years, in 1594, archaeologists discovered the city, perfectly preserved under all that. Regio 9. In ancient Pompeii, there's a spot called Regio 9 that reveals how people lived way back then. Scientists have been digging here since 1888, and they're still finding cool surprises. They discovered tools and building materials, like ash mixed with quicklime, showing that people were in the middle of renovations when everything suddenly paused. And that's not all. They even found luxurious homes and workshops that were being built, giving us a peek into Roman engineering skills. Recently, they even discovered charred furniture, showing how daily life came to a sudden stop that time. And I think now it's clear that the Romans were great builders, but their projects were unfortunately left unfinished, preserved just as they were. Pompei Bakery. In 2023, scientists made an awesome discovery: an ancient bakery that shows us how people made food long ago. They found a big stone wheel called a millstone with rectangle grooves that bakers used to grind wheat into flour. The bakery also had large ovens and spots to mix dough. And guys, here comes the coolest find. A picture on the wall showing flatbread that looks a lot like pizza. It's strange that foods haven't changed much over the centuries. Pompeii street food.
2 anni fa avevamo intercettato solo un lato del bancone.
Pompeii was not just a place of history, but also a place of culture and flavor. In 2020, researchers made another mouth-watering discovery in Pompeii's Regio 5. A street food stall called a Thermopolis was found in an area not open to the public. It was the first time a complete street food stall had been unearthed. Imagine the hustle and bustle as people stopped by for hot meals almost 2,000 years ago. The counter was decorated with bright frescoes showing roosters and ducks, animals that were likely cooked and served. Even the terracotta jars still had traces of ancient food inside. Mythological frescoes.
Archaeologists have discovered a new erotic fresco in the ruins of Pompeii.
What other hidden treasures could Pompeii still be keeping secret? In 2019, archaeologists made an incredible find: beautiful mythological artwork at Pompeii. One of the standout pieces shows Narcissus, the famous character from Greek myths, staring at his reflection. They found this artwork in the atrium of an ancient home. That's not all, but the discovery follows others, like the fresco of Leda and the swan found in a bedroom, depicting Zeus disguised as a swan, featuring beautiful frescoes of Greek myths. These ongoing discoveries in Regio 9 continue to reveal Pompeii's artistic and cultural depth. The Pompei's Fashion. In 2023, archaeologists discovered a beautifully crafted bronze fibula from the Roman Empire. At first, they thought it was a hairpin.
This could be some kind of
but soon realized it was actually an ornamental garment fastener. This intricate piece, with its greenish hue and decorative head, gives us a peek into the fashion and style of ancient Pompeii. It was found along a public walkway, or porticus, which was later turned into a service area. The fibula gives us a tangible link to the daily life and personal style of Pompeii's people. Villa of Papyri. Recently excavated rooms of the Villa of the Papyri in Herculaneum, believed to have belonged to Lucius Calpurnius Piso, the father-in-law of Julius Caesar, showing the Hellenistic world that once lived in this ancient town. Under the open terraces, archaeologists have found a series of rooms decorated with paintings and fancy plasterwork, giving important clues about the culture and art of the villa's old residents. The very walls seem to whisper the stories of the past, inviting visitors to imagine the lives and experiences of those who once walked these halls. Ancient pre-Columbian tomb. In a faraway jungle in Panama, treasure hunters made an amazing discovery. They found a very old graveyard full of shiny gold things. It was a treasure from people who lived there long before Christopher Columbus sailed to America. The most exciting part was finding skeletons wearing gold. One of them had gold plates over them, gold bracelets, and even a belt made of tiny gold balls. There were more than 2,000 of these little gold balls. Scientists are now carefully digging up more of these treasures to learn about the people who left them behind. 2,000-year-old tortoise.
The latest archaeological discovery remains of a pregnant tortoise. The remains were found in the mounds of ancient city of Pompeii.
In June 2022, while Pompeii was still being excavated, researchers came across something truly remarkable. An archaeologist discovered the remains of a 2,000-year-old tortoise. And what made this find even more incredible? The tortoise was still carrying an egg! This discovery happened in an area under reconstruction in 62 AD. A Hermann's tortoise was found nestled in a small underground nook beneath a shop. It's amazing to think that even with all the trouble, wildlife like this little tortoise managed to find a quiet space to survive. Animal skull. In the remains of Pompeii, the chief archaeologist and her excavation team carefully unearthed a rare bull's skull. With steady hands, the team delicately removed the compacted soil surrounding the skull. To avoid any damage, they used some special tools. After hours of meticulous work, they successfully freed the ancient relic. Measuring 80 centimeters in length and 60 centimeters in width, this significant find highlighted the cultural importance of bulls in ancient Rome, often used in ritual sacrifices. Nowadays, bulls rarely get the spotlight outside of bull shows. Villa of Mysteries. Just outside Pompeii's city walls, near the Herculaneum Gate, stands the Villa of Mysteries, a spot that amazes visitors with its stunning murals, especially those in Room 5. These vibrant paintings are believed to show a young woman's initiation into a Greco-Roman mystery cult, giving us a glimpse into ancient religious customs. The villa's frescoes are some of the best preserved examples of Roman art, and scholars have long pondered the meaning behind each figure in the detailed Dionysiac frieze. It's hard not to be captivated by the complex tapestry of Pompeian culture and the mysteries it still holds. Ancient laundry.
Clean the clothes on that. Once I've done that, because that actually cleans the clothes.
Archaeologists have discovered that ancient Pompeii had special laundries called pholonica, which were essential for keeping clothes clean. These public laundries were built for function, with red-tiled walls and stone floors designed to handle constant moisture and heavy use. Surprisingly, the Pompeians used urine as a cleaning agent, thanks to its ammonia content, which was great for removing stains and dirt. It's a clever and unexpected solution that really shows their resourcefulness. Remarkable dental health. Recent research has shown that most people in Pompeii had almost perfect teeth, no cavities, or gum disease. This was likely thanks to their mostly plant-based diet, full of fruits, veggies, and grains, with very little sugar. Plus, the high fluoride levels in the air and water near Mount Vesuvius helped strengthen their enamel, giving them surprisingly healthy teeth. It's amazing to think that over 2,000 years ago, their dental health could rival ours today. So, there's a takeaway here. Eating well really can help keep your teeth strong and healthy. Ancient horse. On December 23, 2018, archaeologists uncovered the remains of a saddled, harnessed horse in the stable of an ancient villa in Pompeii. According to the director of the Pompey Archeological Park, the villa likely belonged to a high-ranking military leader, such as a general. The team also found remains of 2 or 3 other horses, which appear to have been paused in the intense conditions of that time. Although this area was first excavated in the early 1900s and later reburied, these discoveries truly give us a rare look into a moment in history where residents may have been preparing to escape on horseback. Mysterious shrine.
We're making a journey of about 2,000 years.
Oh wow, this is the Blue Room?
It's a very special thing.
An excavation in Pompeii has uncovered some amazing pieces of history, including a beautifully decorated shrine called the Blue Room. The room features female figures representing the 4 seasons, all painted in rare Egyptian blue, a color highly prized in ancient times. Scholars and visitors alike have been captivated by its beauty. On the floor, clay jugs and oyster shells were found, just as they were left on the fateful day in 79 AD. The use of such rare pigments shows just how skilled the artists of Pompeii really were. Temple of Isis.
This is the Temple of Isis in Pompeii.
Now check out this magical place where ancient Egypt meets Italy, and secret ceremonies once took place. In the ancient city of Pompeii stands the captivating Temple of Isis, a site that once drew famous visitors, including the composer Mozart, who was inspired by it when creating his work, The Magic Flute. This temple is not only architecturally significant, but also served as a place of ritual purification.
Take part in a ritual purification through washing with sacred water.
With an underground well where initiates would participate in sacred ceremonies involving the cleansing waters. The temple's fresco displays various aspects of ancient Egyptian culture, some of which have been misinterpreted over the years. It presents the interplay of Egyptian and Greco-Roman influences in this ancient place of worship. House of the Vetii. After being closed for 20 years, the House of the Vetii, one of the most remarkable and well-preserved townhouses in all of Pompeii, has recently reopened in January 2023. It allowed visitors to once again experience the magnificence of this ancient place. It consists of 1,100 square meters, the house that once belonged to 2 freedmen, freed together by the same master. The house is renowned for its detailed wall paintings, which presents the 4th style of Pompeian art, showing mythological scenes, daily life. Herculaneum scrolls. The secret of Herculaneum scrolls, discovered in 1752, remained unsolved until now. These carbonized scrolls, found in a villa near the Bay of Naples, had remained unreadable for centuries due to their fragile state. But with the help of cutting-edge technology, including artificial intelligence, researchers have now interpreted over 1,000 words from these ancient texts. These scrolls indicate that Plato was buried in the Academy, the school he founded, specifically in a garden area near the Muson, a site once sacred to the Muses. Thanks to new technology, we have gained insights into one of history's influential thinkers. Akrotiri Archeological Site. While visiting Herculaneum, a traveler discovered the House of Neptune and Amphitrite, a stunning 2-story building filled with mosaics and sculptures. Inside, history seemed to come alive. The walls were adorned with colorful paintings, and a doorway led to a well-preserved shop, one of the best of its kind from the ancient world. Through a metal grate, the traveler glimpsed wooden racks still standing, along with parts of the shop rebuilt to show what life was like. A wooden divider with a detailed lattice and a storage loft stood out, with jars on the countertop once holding grains, chickpeas, and beans. Standing in that same space where ancient people once worked, the traveler must have felt a deep connection to the past. Acrotiri frescoes. In 1967, a Greek archaeologist uncovered Acrotiri, revealing vibrant pottery and frescoes that amazed archaeologists. These colorful artworks depicted Minoan life, from rituals to daily tasks, highlighting Thera's role as a trading hub connected to Crete, the Cyclades, and Egypt. Notable frescoes like Boxing Children, Fisherman Fresco, and Spring Fresco reflect the Minoans' love for nature and art. Now displayed in Athens and Santorini, these masterpieces offer valuable insights into Minoan culture and artistic skills, showcasing their advanced civilization and deep connection to the natural world. House of Ladies. Archaeologists were amazed to uncover the House of the Ladies in Acrotiri, Santorini, a structure over 3,500 years old. This unique three-story building has the only light well in the ancient city, lighting up its interior through smaller windows. Excavations revealed up to 10 rooms per floor, with the ground level likely used for storage. The upper floors contained pottery and artifacts, and Room 1 is famous for its fresco of the ladies, showing life-sized female figures in Minoan dress. Despite some water damage, the House of the Ladies remains important for its architecture and the insights it provides into ancient Minoan culture, showcasing their art and social life. Beta Complex Acrotiri. A tourist visiting the Beta Complex in Acrotiri, Santorini, witnessed 3 famous frescoes: the Boxers, Antelopes, and Blue Monkeys. The complex included 2 buildings, Beta North and Beta South, located near the site's entrance. Both buildings were affected by a water torrent in the 20th century. Beta South was a 2-story building with a ground floor below street level. Beta North was a single-story building designed to fit between Beta South and the Delta complex. It had 3 rooms, and the unusual layout suggested it was used as an auxiliary building rather than a home. The tourist was totally impressed by the complex's unique features and rich history. The American Pompeii. The Joya de Serene archaeological site in El Salvador, known as the Pompeii of the Americas, offers a remarkable glimpse into ancient Mayan civilization. Visitors can explore well-preserved structures, including houses, workshops, and communal areas made of adobe with thatched roofs. The ash layer kept organic materials intact, revealing everyday life through artifacts like beds, cooking tools, and farming equipment. The site also features fields and a sweat bath, showcasing Mayan farming techniques and rituals. Nearby museums deepen the understanding of this fascinating civilization, making Joya de Serene a key cultural heritage site. Ancient Mayan ruins. In the Salvadoran jungle, a remarkable discovery has been making waves. In December 2018, Salvadoran and Japanese archaeologists began excavating the legendary Mayan village of Joya de Serene. As the team carefully brushes away the dirt, they find clues about how the Mayans lived, their homes, their tools, even their crops. And guys, the Mayan discoveries didn't stop there. Further south, in the Chalchuapa region of El Salvador, stood another significant site, the Casa Blanca Archeological Park. Meanwhile, across the border in Belize, one of the most impressive Maya sites awaited. Lamanai is a well-preserved ruin that sits along the banks of the new river lagoon. The high temple, standing over 33 meters tall, provides a commanding view of the surrounding jungle. It presents the wonderful engineering capabilities of Miami people. Egyptian tomb discovered.
Archaeologists in Egypt are celebrating a newly unearthed tomb as a one-of-a-kind find.
In the sandy lands of Egypt, a team of archaeologists uncovered a special tomb that had been hidden for 400 years. This wasn't just any tomb. It belonged to a high priest named Wati, who lived during a time called the 5th dynasty of the Old Kingdom. The walls were covered in colorful paintings, sculptures, and ancient writing. These decorations told stories from long ago. But the most exciting part was finding 2 statues embracing each other. This tomb had been sealed for over 3,000 years before anyone opened it again. Ancient Amazonian civilization. In the jungle of the Amazon, scientists used a special tool called LiDAR, a powerful flashlight, to see through leaves and branches. They spotted a gem hidden under the greenery, big mounds that people once thought were just piles of garbage. But when they dug deeper, they found so much more. Old buildings, graves, and lots of interesting objects. These findings tell us a big secret, that long ago, many people lived here. They built pyramids, dug canals, and made roads connecting their villages. The Amazon wasn't always just a big forest, but was once home to a clever group of people called the Casarabe culture. Aztec ruins. Now check out a city with huge pyramids reaching up to the sky. That's what Teotihuacan looks like. It's an old city in Mexico, not far from Mexico City. The most amazing part is a building called the Temple of the Feathered Serpent. This special temple has lots of pictures carved into its walls that shows a magical creature called Quetzalcoatl, a feathered snake. There's also another serpent named Tlaloc. The temple is in a big open space where important people used to meet and have special ceremonies. These carvings are some of the oldest pictures we've ever found of the feathered snake god. It's like looking at a giant, ancient picture book. 17th century armor. Normally, people find boring stuff while metal detecting, but this time was different. In a small village in Poland, a detector unearthed an incredible find, a suit of armor from 400 years ago. But this wasn't just any armor. It belonged to the Hussars, special soldiers who were brave horsemen in big battles long ago. The armor was buried deep in the ground, but it was still in great shape, complete with arm covers, a shoulder pad, and even a helmet. The only part missing was the chest piece. Experts believe the armor was made nearby around 1600. It's like discovering a real-life superhero costume from the past. The Ishtar Gate. For centuries, red carpets have welcomed special guests, but the ancient city had something far grander. The Ishtar Gate. In a city called Babylon, the king Nebuchadnezzar II built this gate to honor Ishtar, a goddess of love, war, and helping plants grow. The gate was huge and beautiful. It was made of big clay bricks covered in shiny blue tiles. On these tiles, there were pictures of bulls and dragons. The gate also had designs in blue, gold, and white. Big stone lions stood guard at the entrance. This special gate showed everyone how rich and powerful Babylon was. The king used materials found nearby to build it, which was very smart. Even today, people are amazed by how grand the Ishtar Gate was. Forgotten Kingdom. In a place called Al-Ula in Saudi Arabia, some very curious people are digging up 2 ancient cities. These cities are so old, they're even mentioned in the Bible. They're called Dadan and Lihian. Al-Ula is famous for its big tombs carved into rocks. But now, scientists want to learn more about these other old cities. People lived in these ancient cities were very important because they controlled the roads where traders traveled. They are trying to solve the secrets of the past by piecing together the clues. Roman Armguard.
I am going to be working on this Roman Armguard from the fort of Tremontium, which is now Melrose in the Borders. We have an upper Armguard that's been on display.
Have you ever put together a really tricky puzzle? Well, some clever museum authorities just did that with an old Roman Armguard. This special Armguard was found at a place called Fort Tremontium in Melrose. For a long time, its parts were kept in different places. The top part was in one museum, while the bottom part was in another. Now, after careful study, they've brought all the pieces together. They even found out that some bits they thought belonged to the top actually fit the bottom. It's like solving a 2,000-year-old mystery. The museum team is working hard to fix it up and keep it safe for everyone to see. Roman treasures. Imagine playing in a giant sandpit filled with hidden treasures. That's what it's like for archaeologists digging in Al-Banasa, Egypt. These treasure hunters have been finding amazing things for a long time. They've dug up old tombs, mummies wrapped in bandages, and beautiful golden masks. They even found statues made of clay. All these treasures are from 2 different times in history. Some are from the Ptolemaic time, which was about 2,300 years ago. Others are from Roman times, about 2,000 years ago. 2,000-year-old knife. In 2021, archaeologists discovered a small iron blade near Odense, Denmark. The knife was found in an ancient grave and was only 3 inches long. But it held a big secret. Hidden on its surface were 5 tiny symbols called runes. These runes spell out Hirula, which might mean little sword in a very old language. Interestingly, it was about 2,000 years old. That makes it the oldest ruins ever found in Denmark. It's like finding the first words ever written in that country. Bronze jewelry. Sometimes, dry lakes can hide amazing treasures. In Poland, archaeologists explored a lake that had dried up long ago. They found over 550 bronze items and old bones, all more than 3,000 years old. These things belong to a group called the Chilo people. The Chilo lived during the late Bronze Age and early Iron Age. They had special rituals of throwing metal objects into big lakes. Most of the items found were jewelry for arms and necks. So, isn't it amazing how a dry lake can tell us so much about people who lived thousands of years ago? 5,000-year-old city in Peru. In Peru, archaeologists discovered an ancient temple at a place called El Paraíso, which might be around 5,000 years old, older than the pyramids in Egypt. The Chillon Valley, located on the central coast north of Lima, had an ancient settlement from the late Preceramic period, around 2100 to 1800 BC. This site, known as Chuquitanta, had large mud and rock homes and a temple that may have been used for ceremonial offerings. Spanning more than 58 hectares, it was one of the largest settlements of its time, possibly supporting hundreds of people who farmed and fished. Chuquitanta was also one of the first human settlements in the Andes. Ancient Chinese mummies. The Taklamakan Desert in China is one of the hardest places to live on Earth. But guess what? People lived there thousands of years ago. For 30 years, Chinese archaeologists have been digging in this desert. They've found hundreds of very old graves, some from 3,800 years ago. The bodies in these graves turned into mummies and were very well preserved. When scientists looked at the DNA of these mummies, they found something surprising. These ancient people had reddish blonde hair and looked more European than Chinese. They might have been part of a special civilization that we don't know much about. Ancient skull.
The discovery of an ancient skull has revealed clues that could shake up the accepted theories of human evolution.
In a village in Georgia, people found a skull that's 1.8 million years old. It was buried under a medieval village, along with some simple stone tools. The skull was the most complete pre-human skull ever found. It helped scientists understand how humans evolved and spread from Africa to other parts of the world. The scientists also found 4 other partial skulls from the same time, but they all looked a bit different. This discovery might mean that our human family tree has fewer branches than we thought. Stone Plaza in Peru. High up in the mountains of Peru, archaeologists found an ancient stone plaza. It was about 4,750 years old, which means it was built around 2850 BCE. That's even older than the pyramids in Egypt. It was circular and made with big standing stones. The people who built this plaza were changing from being hunters to farmers. They probably used the plaza for meetings and special ceremonies. 165 tombs discovered. In April 2021, archaeologists in China made a big discovery. They found 165 very old tombs. Most of these tombs were about 2,000 years old, from a time called the Han Dynasty. 9 of the tombs are even older, from 2,500 years ago during the Eastern Zhou Dynasty. Many of the tombs had brick coffins with pottery figures around them. Some tombs were even connected to each other by passages. The pottery in the tombs has interesting patterns, but they're hard to understand. The craftsmanship at that time was really impressive, though. Collection of ancient relics. In December 2019, a surprising discovery near Bagan, England, uncovered a collection of ancient relics. These items were found near Lunt Roman Fort and an airport. The relics included jewelry, a fish-shaped wine flask, and a polished mirror. A ring with a cicada symbolizing immortality. An Anglo-Saxon cemetery was discovered with signs of trade, including Frankish vessels, showing that connections remained even after the Romans left in the 5th century. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. The lost city of Pompeii stayed hidden for nearly 1,700 years, and even today, we're still uncovering pieces of its past. Around 1,150 people have been found from an estimated 2,000 who lived there. These aren't Egyptian mummies, but they were perfectly preserved. The thick layers of ash, which covered Pompeii, also helped keep everything in remarkable condition. As time passed, the people left empty spaces in the ash. Archaeologists filled these spaces with plaster, creating detailed casts that captured their expressions and movements, giving us a rare glimpse of life in ancient Pompeii. See you next time.